Hi, I'm Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16 millimeter films, and that was Tiger Fangs, which was a digest of a feature film, I'm guessing, or a short, distributed by Official Films, which I believe was a competitor to Castle Films, but similar markets. This is meant for home use, for people that had 16 millimeter projectors but didn't have sound. So, drama. Absolute drama. All right. Let's get back to doing what we do best, which is watching Cornet films about making lists. Here's the importance of making notes. Enjoy.
This is station WNMP, and this is where I learned the real value of making notes. This is my notebook. I'm pretty proud of it now, and it's become a good friend to me. You know why? Well, did you ever ask questions like, what's the assignment? Where did I read something about Joseph Lister? What book are we supposed to read for literature? Well, I used to ask questions like those. Now I look in my notebook. You see how it's organized? A section for each class I have. In front of each section, there's a page for assignments. And then, behind that, the notes on each day's class discussion and reading, beginning with the first day that I took notes. That's a long time ago. Don't look at these notes. Here, these are better. You can see how I'm beginning to organize my notes and make them easier to read. They're good notes now. And here's the story of how they got that way. It began at WNMP. Eddie and I visited the station to prepare a report for the class on news broadcasting. Boy, was it interesting. Eddie kept busy taking notes. And the next day in class, and it sure was interesting. We saw a lot of interesting things. We saw the control room and the studios and the newsroom. You know, I wish that you all could see it.
Wasn't he supposed to make that was terrible. All right, Eddie.
On our trip, we had a chance to go behind the scenes, to actually see how a news broadcast is organized. As you know, the announcer reads from a specially prepared script. But what goes on behind this script? In one room of the studio called the wire room, the teletypes are constantly busy, bringing in news bulletins from the various wire services. WNMP has 2 of these.
How did he remember all that information? How did he organize it so well? Could it be the notes on those cards? Well, I began to wonder about notes, to wonder whether they would help me. Look at Jane. No notes for her. Would she learn by just listening? And Jim, he looks as though he's trying to write down every word. But Mary took notes in a different way. She would listen, think, and then write. Would she learn more that way? Would notes really help you learn? Well, I got my answer when Eddie finished his talk.
Are there any questions? Yes?
You said there are teletype machines, blank, 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 from the wire services. I missed the middle part.
Well, Jim, I don't recall exactly what I said, but the teletype machines are going all the time, bringing in bulletins from the news services. Yes?
Do the announcers work with the writers in preparing comments on the news?
Well, some of them do, and some prepare their own scripts. Yes?
How do they get the news?
Didn't I just cover that?
Well, there it was, as clear as anything. No notes, not much learning. Well, if you try to copy down every word, well, you don't get the ideas, do you? But if you make notes, outline the key ideas, that's the way. Taking good notes helps you understand and remember what is said. And that meant to me that I'd have to start taking notes. I was sure going to need some help, though. Well, Eddie had good notes. Maybe he'd show me the way he does it. We went to one of the library conference rooms where we could talk without disturbing anyone. Well, we had a new reading assignment for that social studies course. But before he got into that, Eddie went back over his notes on our class discussion, what I'd said and what he'd said. They didn't look like much. Eddie showed me, though, how he used abbreviations to save time, and how the notes were a little disorganized because the discussion was a bit disorganized. But in a few minutes, Eddie had those notes in shape. Rewriting them that way gave him a neat, permanent record of the discussion and helped him remember it. Reading the notes, I began to remember more, too. Now, what's this? There was the reading assignment, all written out. No mistakes about what to read or when. But as we got into that reading assignment, I noticed Eddie wasn't making notes. He read all the way to the end of the chapter. And then he paused a minute, thinking through all he had read. He kept talking about remembering the purpose of your reading. Purpose of your reading. Oh, yes. To find the effect of the Federal Communications Commission on radio news broadcasts. All right. I read with that in mind. And do you know, the important material just stood right out from the page. Well, I could see then how to find the important ideas in reading. But just what do you write down? Eddie showed me. FCC licenses wavelengths. Renewals every 6 months. Yes, finding and recording the important ideas in your own words. That's what note-taking is. Remembering your purpose is one way to find those important ideas. There are other cues to use in reading, too. Watch for bold type headings, summary sentences, numbered lists of items, for they tell you what the author thinks is important. And these cues helped Eddie plan out his notes. So I made up my mind to remember my purpose and to watch for cues, both in reading and in listening. For the same thing works well in class.
So we see that radio broadcasting is controlled in 3 ways: by the public, by by the sponsor and the station management, and by the government through the power...
Yes, it worked. By listening with purpose in mind, and by following cues, I was able to pick out the important ideas. And the sub-ideas just fell into place. Then, later, when I had a chance, I rewrote my class notes in permanent form. Yes, my notes were beginning to be complete, and better organized, and more useful. Whenever I needed to review my work, whenever I had an exam to prepare for, I'd bring out my notebook. And it was a lot easier than before. I've found, too, that I remember more, even without referring to my notes. So there it is, my notebook. I fixed it up a bit to make it neater, better organized. So now it's a book I'm proud of, a book I'm glad I have. Well, that's the story. Notes have made a difference for me, and they can for you, too. Make a note of that, will you?
Certainly did not do any of that when I was in school. I seem to remember this is before I had glasses. So I would sit there and read, or I would listen to the professor or the teacher, and it would all get sucked into my head, and I would just doodle, basically, but all that information would be sucked in there. Or I would be taking notes as I was listening, but I wouldn't retake the notes. I would just write them down, and then it would be a way to get into my brain. But then as soon as I needed glasses, then I couldn't keep up, and I was running into a lot of issues. The classic Brady Bunch situation. I think it was Jan who had to get glasses. That was me. So that was in college as well. All right, so behind me, I have a film scanner, and we have a film. There's several shelves of films that I just don't know what they are. So we're watching them. And so this one, I did actually get the title. It is a family film release, and it is called Truce in the Forest, based on a Reader's Digest story. Enjoy.
It's all right. It's just a little old bird.
Well, I know I heard something. And it wasn't no bird.
Maybe it was some of our guys.
Not likely, Sonny. Appears to me we crossed lines during the night. They sure don't look familiar.
Hey, paisano, watch where you're pointing at there. Hey, I'm sorry. Take your finger off the trigger. Shoot off my rump.
How about it, Daniel Boone? Which way?
I don't know. That artillery sounds like it's coming from every which way, huh?
Well, if you're saying that we're still lost, I could have told you that.
Look, what do we do if we see Germans? I mean, there's only 3 of us. Well, Sonny, depends on whether there's more than 3 of them. Let's go.
Hast du eine Zigarette?
Sei ruhig, du Dummkopf, willst du erschossen werden?
Ich sehe nix.
Ich höre etwas. Da drüben.
Amerikaner?
Vielleicht. Hey, what is it? I don't know. Come on.
Maria, komm ins Haus, schnell. Nu komm. Schnell, komm. Komm. So.
We gotta find a medic, man. He's bleeding to death.
Yeah, I know.
Maria, geh weg von dem Fenster. Hier, schäle diese Äpfel für Abendessen. Vielleicht ist da schöne Musik am Radio, ja?
Damit ein Symbol des Ewigen. Es lebe die nationalsozialistische Bewegung. Es lebe Deutschland!
Schweine. Deutschland über alles. Und so grüßen wir die Geburt unseres lieben Heilands. Ach.
Mutter, das ist die Zauberflöte. Bitte, lass es an.
Ach, Mozart. Ja. Von dem verrückten Teufel in Berlin zu dem Engel in Salzburg.
Fänger bin ich, ja, ist lustig, heiße Hopse, ich Vogelfänger bin bekannt, bei alt und jung im ganzen Land.
Who else is in there?
Just a woman and a girl. Anyone else around? In Zuhasa.
Nein, niemand ist da, nur ich und meine Tochter.
It's our friend outside. He's been shot. He's hurt bad. Needs some attention.
Will you help us? Do you understand? Please.
Oh.
Ja, natürlich. Bringen Sie ihn ins Haus.
One of us better keep an eye out.
All right, then you get him settled, and I'll take the first watch.
Wir haben sie verloren.
Was geht das uns an?
Ich friere.
Mich auch. Herr Korporal, lassen Sie den Unsinn. Wir suchen uns besser einen Platz zum Schlafen.
Diesen Weg.
See anything?
Nope, it's pretty quiet out there.
Yeah, good. I don't imagine any juries would be out on a night like this anyway.
Probably not.
Let's see. Just like my mama used to make back home in Alabama. Now don't tell me you never had chicken and dumplings. No? You don't know what you've been missing. Come here. Come here now. Taste it. Well, now ain't that about the best thing you ever put in your mouth? Yeah, I know it. It's good.
How is he? What happened?
They must have the power line somewhere.
Ist jemand zu Hause?
Wehrmacht! Fröhliche Weihnachten.
Gnädige Frau, wir haben unsere Truppen verloren und möchten hier bis zum Tageslicht warten. Können wir hier übernachten?
Natürlich. Ihr dürft auch eine warme Mahlzeit essen. Eine Minute, bitte. Wir haben 3 andere Gäste. Sie würden den Männer kaum fürs Freunde halten.
Wer ist denn da? Amerikaner? Georg, Lilly, an die Fenster! Aus dem Schussfeuer!
Hören Sie! Heute ist Weihnachtsabend. Kämpfen und Schüssen sind hier verboten. Ihr könnten meine Sohne sein. Und so könnten die anderen hier. Der eine Junge hat eine Schusswunde. Er kämpft ums Leben. Seine beiden Kameraden haben auch das Weg verloren und sind ebenso kalt und hungrig. Diese eine Nacht, das Weihnachtsabend, als unser Heiland geboren war, lasst uns das Töten vergessen. Genug von dieser Unterhaltung. Legt eure Schussgewehre auf dem Holzhaufen. Nun mach schnell, ehe der andere die Mahlzeit essen.
Doch, genug mit dieser Krieg.
Seid ihr denn wahnsinnig geworden?
Nein, wir sind kalt und hungrig.
Bitte.
What are they doing?
I don't know. But I can hear them moving around a bit.
Bitte.
Hi.
Was ist last?
Was tun Sie?
Ich kann nichts hören.
Kommen Sie rein. Stehen Sie nicht und frieren. Nehmt eure Röcke ab. Wärmt euch beim Feuer. Ich werde nach dem Essen sehen. Kommen Sie bitte. Maria, bitte das Tischgebet.
Segne fahren, was wir essen. Lass uns deine nicht vergessen.
Bitte.
What is it?
He's just bad off. And he ain't getting much better either. You a doctor?
No, but I studied medicine at Heidelberg until a few months ago.
You speak English?
So do you. No sign of infection yet. But he has lost much blood. The bullet should come out.
How?
I can tie. But I'm not a doctor. I cannot be certain that I will do it properly.
What happens if we don't try?
I cannot say. There may be infection and more bleeding. I think he will die.
Then let's try.
Very well. Ich muss heißes Wasser und Verbandzeug haben. Und wir müssen ein Küchenmesser haben und es schärfen.
Sitzen bleiben.
He is unconscious. Now he will not feel the pain. Let us hope.
Herr Jesus, wir beten zu dir, dass du mit dem jungen Mann auf seinem Schmerzenlagen bist. Berühre ihn mit deiner Liebe und Kraft. Heile ihn mit deinen göttlichen Geist, dass er wieder lebt und dir dienen.
Und siehe, des Herrn Engel trat zu ihnen, und die Klarheit des Herrn leuchtete um sie, und sie fürchteten sich sehr.
And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were so afraid.
Und der Engel sprach zu ihnen, fürchtet euch nicht. Siehe, ich verkündige euch große Freude, die allem Volk widerfahren wird.
And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people.
Denn euch ist heute der Heiland geboren, welcher ist Christus, der Herr in der Stadt Davids.
For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord.
Und es habt zum Zeichen, ihr werdet finden das Kind in Windeln gewickelt und in einer Krippe liegen.
And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger.
Und alsbald war dabei dem Engel die Menge der himmlischen Herrscher, die lobten Gott und sprachen.
And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of heavenly hosts, praising God and saying,
Ehre sei Gott in der Höhe und Friede auf Erden und den Menschen ein Wohlgefallen.
Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht, alles schlaft, einsam wacht, nur das traute Hochheilige Paar. Oh, the crowd in laughter and heart, soft when hear the shell breeze, soft in heaven's Son of God, world's delight, lead aus deinem Gott and Moon. Sah und schlaf, wie weg in das Grün. Please build deine Geburt. Christ in deine
He's sleeping peacefully. No fever. No infection. I think it'll be all right.
Dank sei unserem Gott und unserem Herrn Jesus Christ.
Hey, listen. What? I don't hear anything.
Yeah. The bombing has stopped.
Mutter, komm und sieh! Schnell!
Das Stern von Bethlehem.
call. Så det still. He'll do well, I think. But he should rest another day before you move him.
But we've got to get back to our unit.
The war will still be there tomorrow. Wollen Sie ihm noch einen Tag helfen, bitte?
Ja, natürlich.
Dankeschön for everything.
Bitte.
I think I'll try to go get a beat on our location. Maybe bring back the medics. We're not too far from Monja.
Nein, ihr dürft nicht nach Monschau gehen. Wir haben die Stadt wieder genommen.
He says that Monschau is now in German hands.
Where do we go then?
Wo?
Hier, schaut her. Folgt diesen Fluss nach Süden. Der wird euch zu der ersten amerikanischen Armee bringen.
He says to follow the stream south. It leads to the American First Army.
Thanks.
Du, wo ist meine Pistole?
Hier.
Vielen Dank, gnädige Frau.
Seid vorsichtig, ihr alle. Ich hoffe, dass Sie wieder eure Heimat erreichen, wo Sie hingehören.
Gott segne euch. Fröhliche Weihnachten.
Marvin?
Yes, son.
Christmas?
It sure is, Paisano. It sure is.
Und sie zogen auf einem anderen Weg wieder in ihr Land.
But yes, this story about truces during Christmas Eve. I have a film where it takes place during World War One, and then this has been made into several movies, including one with Linda Hamilton called Silent Night, and then one called Midnight Clear. The variation, Silent Night is more of a adaptation of this short story, and Midnight Clear is more of a take on the World War One story. And then I looked up to see if what I could find about this story, the Truce in the Forest, and it turns out there was an episode of Unsolved Mysteries where the author, Fritz, who is portrayed as a girl in this film, Fritz tries to hunt down, because he's German, he wrote the story about his mom and about this event. He tries to hunt down the American soldiers, and they find the American soldiers, and he gets to meet them and talk to them. He was unable to find the German soldiers, and he feels like that's because they probably died, given what was going on in Germany at the time. But yeah, Unsolved Mysteries. Crazy. So it was true. It actually happened. And the story was so amazing that President Reagan used it in one of his addresses. So this is oft told. Yeah, May 6, 1985, President cites story of peace amid terrors of battle. Yeah, so this has a deep root. And I think part of it is like, once it gets in Reader's Digest, man, it becomes part of the American subconscious, especially from that time period. Anyways, thanks for tuning in today. We're kind of going to cut it a little bit short. If you like what you saw, there's different ways you can support us. One way is via buying us coffee at ko-fi.com/avgeeks. The other thing is, if you're on YouTube, there's this thing called the Super Thanks, which is a little dollar bill that shows up below the live chat, and you can donate there directly if you have your stuff linked via YouTube. I don't know how you do that. I haven't really done it, but some people did it yesterday, and it was very much appreciated. The other thing you can do is support us on patreon.com/avgeeks. So, and finally, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, tell other people about what we're doing, because we got lots and lots and lots of films to watch. We have only watched 3,542 films so far, and we have many, many, many more to watch. So that's like a tenth of what films we have. So tune in tomorrow and see what else we got. Thanks again, everybody. And we will see you. So I did get someone buying me coffee from someone named Herbert, and I don't know if that's anybody that is on here or if this is another thing, but thank you, Herbert, for that coffee. That was a significant gift, and I need all that caffeine, so thank you. Otherwise, everybody take care. Beware the 919 rewind devil that shows up in some film cans. But we'll talk soon. Bye.